I think one of the things to think about when engaging a remote or hybrid workforce is, first of all, something that we mentioned earlier, which is really about communication from the off. It comes from the leadership, and they need to feel that there is clear messaging and expectation of them on their deliverables. We are seeing greater ownership within these areas. So as we get generational changes, we are seeing the next generation who are far more tech savvy owning their responsibilities. And I think if we include them within the business and give them tasks to deliver on in a timely manner, we're getting greater returns. Outside of that, a really important thing is to build the culture. And culture of organizations is extremely important because how do you get the stickiness of people staying within roles and not being attracted to other roles if you're not doing something to keep engagement with your staff? So within that, we're seeing companies that have a more proactive stance of bringing people together, but not only for work events, making sure they're social and they're team building and they're fun. So I think one of the big trends for the next generation of workforce is their expectation. So they expect to have, in many ways, to tick all the boxes. So they expect to, from a very early stage, to have a voice. They expect to be able to add value and to potentially be more commercial than you would necessarily expect compared to previous generations where you'd have to serve your time to get up through the ranks. And someone mentioned on the panel earlier this wonderful concept of reverse mentoring, which I think works really well. I think they have expectation of being in their role and then having opportunities to progress. They expect the right work-life balance, opportunity to have further education, extensive benefits like we've never seen before. And I think if you can somehow, and it's not easy, and I don't think this has been mastered yet, if you can get the balance of all, you get the most amazing output from your staff and loyalty as part of that. Yeah, so there is, if you don't mind, I won't name the company, but there is this technology group who the founders are young, and they are really, in some ways, they're way ahead of where you would expect them to be, but they are leading from the very, very front in terms of the culture of the organization and ensuring that their staff are delivery focused, at the same time not putting too much pressure on them. They have this wonderful balance of making sure that their staff own their areas, but they're also considered, which runs very different to some other cultures. I just reiterate, I think it has to come from the top, and allow that culture of a voice from all aspects. I think, and I would be guilty of it myself, often thinking that you're right in your own way of thinking. And I think from a founder, you drive that thought process and you have to pause and allow the voices of others to really shine. And when they were talking about diversity and diverse thinking, there's a great book by this chap, Matthew Saeed, called Rebel Ideas. And he talks about peak performance within teams and how, although you might have cultural diversity within the makeup of your team, if they've all come through the same university channel, actually a lot of their diverse thinking has been eradicated. So having people from diverse groups does not necessarily just mean ethnically diverse. It's from very different walks of life. And as a result, they bring completely different thinking and a lot more creativity into your organization. And then you just need to remember to give them the voice and to listen.